great to have live music back, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, for us, it's great to be out there playing. We really needed it. And I got to say, the band is playing amazingly well. And the people have been amazing, absolutely amazing. Obviously, the numbers a little bit down on a couple of the places, mainly because I think, there was a lot of uncertainty about, but, places like Liverpool, where we played 2 nights in the Philharmonic Hall up there, absolutely buzzing. And even up in Scotland, which is kind of a little bit behind with the restrictions, amazing crowds. They were just really determined to enjoy it, and it was great.
And have you noticed after you've performed a song that perhaps you'd get an even bigger round of applause than you used to, perhaps?
Well, like I say, the response has been amazing. It's been fantastic. So we're coming down south a bit more now. We'll see how we get on down there.
Yeah, it'd be good. So, of course, your latest album has been out for a while now, One on One. Are you happy with the way it has been received?
Yeah, very much so. Very happy with the way it's been received from our fans, and a lot of the digital platforms. It's really spiked up again, and very good. It's difficult with mainstream radio, but no, I mean, it's had an excellent response. We've had some great reviews and all that, and we're playing quite a few of the songs in the set. It's difficult to select. We obviously we can't play the whole album because people want to hear some of the old stuff as well, stuff from my whole career. So but all the songs work really well live, so it's a question of choosing which ones to include in the set.
Is that hard sometimes?
Well, it is. It can be. I mean, we'd like to play. We love to play some of the new stuff because just to keep things fresh and current. But we enjoy playing the old stuff as well. I mean, how long? Then every single gig since 1974, I never get fed up with it, and the audience love it. Things like Over My Shoulder, Living Years, all that sort of stuff. I mean, they're good songs, and we like to please the audience. We want them to have a good time. But it's important for us to keep including new things, to keep ourselves fresh and interested.
Yeah. Do you think How Long is the best song you've recorded?
No.
Which one then?
Well, I think I've recorded a lot of songs that are as equally as good. I mean, How Long's a funny one because I don't think it's a particularly great song. It has but it hit the spot somehow, and it has a very strong hook. That's one thing about it. And I think the original recording had a kind of magic about it, a bit of atmosphere. Back in those days when we recorded, in one go, and you tried to capture a bit of magic when the red light went on, and you were keyed up for it. But I think I've written other songs that are, I think, as good. But I'm not complaining. If you get a song that hits the spot, and it's great.
Yeah, my favorite song of yours is probably The Living Years. That means a lot to a lot of people, doesn't it?
Yeah, actually, I mean, I sang the original recording with Mike and the Mechanics back in the day, but I didn't actually write that song. It's written by a guy called B.A. Robertson. But although it is a Mike and the Mechanics song, I feel, entitled to sing it in my own show because I think, I think my vocal performance was, and my interpretation of the song was good, and I enjoy singing it. It's a good song.
Yeah, it's you straight away when you hear the song, definitely.
Well, my newsagent doesn't. He's convinced it was Mike Rutherford singing, but there you go.
So, of course, after Ace, you joined Squeeze, and Tempted. That was a good song as well.
It's an excellent song. but that was written by Chris Difford and Glenn Tilbrook from Squeeze. Now that is an excellent song, and again, it's one I feel that I am entitled to sing that in my set, and I enjoy it. I mean, it is a terrific song. It's a great lyric. It's a wonderful melody, and excellent song.
I think last time we spoke, there's one of your songs that you don't do because I think you said your bass guitarist doesn't like it, or somebody in the band. Cup of Coffee, was it?
Yeah, it's a Cup of Coffee. No, it's not. It's one of it's my good friend. He was actually the original drummer in Mike and the Mechanics, and he's been my friend for 30 or 40 years almost. But he's kind of evolved into my manager. But he really dislikes that song. It's a bit frustrating because a lot of people I know do like it. But anyway, we do a couple of Mike and the Mechanic songs. We do The Living Years. We do Over My Shoulder, which I did write and sing. But we think maybe that's enough at the moment.
Yeah, you're going to do quite a few off of your new album, aren't you? One on One.
Yeah, we'll probably do, I don't know, 4 or 5, maybe even 6 songs. Because as I say, they all translate quite well to live. So yeah, and they've been going down very well, actually. I mean, it's not we're conscious. We don't want to bombard people with a load of challenging stuff that they don't recognize and don't feel comfortable with. But the fact is, I only write kind of simple songs anyway, kind of catchy songs. So, I think people get the plot pretty quickly, and they've all been going down really well. So it's great to play new stuff.
I think that's probably the way to do songwriting, isn't it? I mean, you know it a lot better than me, but a simple song that everybody can sing along to.
Well, that's the only kind I know how to write anyway, but that's because I have limited technical knowledge, I suppose you could say. I'm not an intellectual. I'm not a big reader, but I do enjoy writing songs, and they tend to be simple. They're not all sing along, but they are fairly simple in their structure.
But of course, with the new album, you did all the instruments as well as sung the songs as well. That must have been a good process.
Well, it's not the first time I've done that. I mean, I have a little studio at home, and the way I write usually is like it starts usually with a very simple idea. It might be a melody or a few chords or something, and I gradually build them up, add instruments. Then you have to keep going back and taking stuff out, putting stuff back in. That's the kind of one way of skinning a cat, so to speak. So, but it's not unusual for me to play everything on a track in that way, because I mean, I'm not a virtuoso on any instrument, but I do play a bit of everything. I started out on drums. I switched to keyboards and taught myself some keyboards, and I always played a bit of guitar because my brother had a guitar. And I've never had any music lessons or anything. I just learned by ear, and fortunately, I have a good ear. And I, as I say, kind of taught myself that way, as many other sort of pop and rock musicians are self-taught anyway. I just wish there had been YouTube back in the day, because it just would have made life a lot easier.
Yeah. So with the songwriting process, I guess it's different every time, is it, when you write a song?
It's hard to describe the process because there is no sort of fixed process. I'm just messing around, really. and things, as I say, things evolve, and often it might be the way that they come together like that, and the parts, the way they kind of fit together is as much a part of the songwriting as the melody or the lyric, in a way. I could be wrong about that, because I think maybe for a lot of people, the melody and the lyric is the important thing. But what I'm saying is, it's very difficult to describe the songwriting process, so I'm not going to try.
That's all right, no problem. So back to the tour. What was your first gig from not having a gig for such a long time with the band? I mean, what was that like? That must have been amazing.
What, to get back was amazing. Yeah, definitely.
Mm.
I mean, I'd done very few odds and sods since March 2020 when we were, out in the middle of a kind of a world tour, really. But so the first thing that I did really live was last year. I toured America with Eric Clapton. Well, I say America. We basically did the southern states. We played in Florida, Texas, New Orleans, the southern states who didn't have the heavy restrictions that some of the other states did. And so that was amazing to be out there doing that. When I came back, we did 3 shows in October in the UK, shows that had been cancelled previously and rescheduled. That was great just to be out there. We were amazed that people came to the show, but they were hungry for it. And so this tour, which we started in the mid-January. There was still a lot of uncertainty about how it would pan out. But, from the very first night in Bath, which was a place we haven't played for a long time, if ever, actually, and the place was full. So we've had good crowds and very enthusiastic crowds. And so let's hope it continues like that all the way through.
I'm sure it will. Well, thanks a lot for joining us, Paul, and I'm looking forward to the gig on Thursday at the Brighton Dome. Should be good. Another thing I wanted to ask you was about your sets. Do they vary a lot, or do you sort of a couple of songs change every time you do a show?
Well, it's not varying very much if at all at the moment. We've got a set that works very well. It's got that balance between old stuff and new stuff. The pace of it works very well. We come out fairly upbeat, and then in the middle there's some sort of low-key ballad stuff, and then we have a strong finish to the set. And of course there's things to take into consideration like lighting, because we've got some excellent lighting engineer who's doing an amazing job. So we're kind of sticking with that at the moment. It's working. But I dare say along the line we will, maybe give a song a rest and put a new one in, probably from the new album. So as I say, we don't want to overkill with the new album, but in fact, I think we've already discussed, slotting a new one in for the Brighton show. Funnily, you should mention that. But
which one? Are you going to let it slip?
I'm not going to tell you. No. But
have to wait and see.
You'll have to wait and see. Yeah.